Hello everyone, my name is Miro and thank you for joining me today for a long overdue. And long overdue here is an understatement, but for a long overdue catch up on all of the plant chores that I need to do. I wanted to sit today, tomorrow, and for who knows how many days with you in this video, catch you up on some of the things that have been happening in my life and really do some plant chores, declutter my space because it's very cluttered and it really needs a serious deep clean. Like, honestly, can we just, I don't know, take everything out and power hose down, whatever the expression is, whatever the appropriate way is to say that, just like the entire space. So get ready for what I hope will be a cozy video. And it probably will not be very brief because we're just not very familiar with what those words mean on this channel. I mean, I did look them up, but it was just blank. I was like, brief, what is it? Blank page. Weird. Doesn't happen with any other words. So recently I started to work another job alongside of my full-time job, which is my YouTube channel, and it is full-time job, especially in previous months when I was uploading a lot of videos, twice or three times a week. It has been more than a full-time job. And to be quite frank with you, juggling two jobs has been a little bit difficult. And I don't know, I don't know. I love when I say, I don't know why that is. Maybe because we have so many plans. I really can't put my finger on it. What is making my life so chaotic? Could it be all of this? No. But things have turned into chaos a little bit. Honestly, things have been chaotic for a long time now, and I feel that I've been playing catch up. And if the situation was any different, I would probably say no to the new job. But I didn't. I said yes. But between making videos, between juggling two jobs, taking care of all of these plants, my social life has been questionable at best. Like, have you ever been in a situation where you haven't replied to some of your friends in several weeks and then you suddenly convince yourself that they must hate you and your friendship is over? Same. Or I don't know, have you ever felt that like you haven't checked in with the close people in your life, with your friends, and you haven't checked back and you don't really know how they're doing, but you're kind of hoping that they're doing fine, otherwise they would reach out and tell you? It's not a great feeling, right? And listen, I know relationships, whether it be with friends, with family, with, just romantic relationships, they can get a little bit complicated when life gets busy, especially obviously with friends because, well, you don't live with them. Mostly, we don't live with our friends, sadly, or with family if you don't live with them, unless you're married. I'm making this very weird. You get what I'm trying to say here. Relationships can get a little bit complex and it's just so easy to get into overthinking, overanalyzing things, spiraling. I actually do have a PhD in spiraling. True. I also have found that in the past and in the present, to be completely frank with you and completely honest, I have struggled definitely to just accept the ever-changing nature of relationships that we are in. Once again, whether it be family, friends, or whatever. And particularly, I find this difficult when this change happens for no reason. I have quite a difficult time rationalizing why we speak less. Is it a big problem? Is it not a big problem? Why the communication has changed? Why didn't they check in? Why didn't I say something? Or if I do say something, why the behavior hasn't changed, for example? And then I start to wonder, is this my fault? Did I change? Did they change? What happened here? I mean, did I tell you, did I have a PhD in spiraling and analyzing? Overanalyzing? It's actually a new field, spiralizing. New field. I have a PhD in that. Hit me up if you want to be educated. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. In any case, that's where today's paid partner, BetterHelp, comes in. Relationships aren't easy, and you're definitely not alone if you catch yourself overanalyzing things, overthinking about things, spiraling, reading in between the lines. I have another PhD in reading in between the lines. Another one. Multiple PhDs. I particularly excel in reading between the lines that don't exist. Just, what did they mean by sending me that emoji? Nothing. They didn't mean anything. Do you hate me? Do you hate me? Are we still friends? PhD. Instead of stress texting your best friend at 2 a.m. or disappearing into an overthinking hole, there is a better way. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that connects you with a credentialed therapist to help you work through your relationship questions. Whether it's about communication, boundaries, which we all need, they are necessary, or just figuring out why you feel the way that you feel. You answer a quick questionnaire, get matched with a therapist, and if it's not the right fit, you can switch anytime at no cost. They also have customer support team to help you with any questions that you might have. Therapy really isn't just for crisis moments. It's a useful tool that can help you make any relationship that you are in healthier. If that sounds helpful to you, you can get 10% off of your first month of therapy by clicking the link in the description or visiting betterhelp.com/basieplans. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/basieplans. Thank you, BetterHelp, for being my paid partner of this video. Now let's get back into talking about life and spiraling about planned chores. Yes, we always have to be spiraling. It's cardio. Shh. Get your Apple Watch or whatever Fitbit, whatever fit device you use. Like, you will see it's cardio. 100%. Hour of spiraling burns for sure like 500 calories. Better than kickboxing. Fact. That's why I'm so slim. You gotta stop with the delusion. You gotta stop with the delusion. I haven't got the faintest idea how we're fitting in here, but okay. I have my new TDS EC pH and temperature meter. It's by Analytical Instruments. I don't think this is any specific or particularly good brand. And what we're gonna do today is we are going to calibrate this device. I bought a solution for calibration buffer solution. It's 7.01. You should ideally use more than one. However, when I was ordering this, they only had this one. They didn't have any others. So I'm just gonna calibrate it to this and fingers crossed, you know, it's good enough. We will check. We have distilled water here. I'm gonna wash it away a little bit in the distilled water. And then I'm just going to put this here in a bag and make sure that it's calibrated. I don't think this comes with any particular instructions, but let me check. Oh, there are. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna follow what they say. Once again, they say pour a small quantity of pH 6.86, 4.1, and pH 9.18 solution into clean beakers. We do not have all of those, we only have 7. So we are going to use that. And then I just need to check where is the thingamajig, because you do get this screwdriver, and that's essentially for fine-tuning this lovely machine. And there should be like essentially like a little screw which you can turn to calibrate this, which, to be quite frank with you, I do not see, but it should exist. Usually in the back of these things, or maybe on the top, is where the battery is. Yeah. Okay, so one of the batteries did jump out at us, which is undesirable trait. Now all of them are out. Lovely. But I think here's where the screw is. Let me just check. Let me break this in front of the camera. Yep, that's where the screw is. Very inconvenient because these batteries do jump out as soon as you open this. So, love it. This is already turning into a chaos. Alrighty, let's open this thing. Turn on the meter, short press the mode button, choose the pH for measuring. This is buffering liquid, Sometimes you can buy a powder, wasn't available, and then essentially with the powder you would dilute it in the distilled water following the instructions. So mode, oh, turn it on first. Turn on the meter. The batteries are almost empty, love it. Choose the pH for measuring. Immerse the electrode in pH and gently shake it until the reading to stabilize. Okay, well that's lovely. It's not, it's currently stabilizing at 5.6. Okay, something's not good. I'm not doing this properly. Let's rinse it. It says that distilled water is 6. However, distilled water should be 7. So let's turn it off. Let's try that again. Let's try it again. We're not doing it well. Of course I did it wrong the first time. Okay, let's say it's relatively stable. Then it says, press and hold the temperature calibration button about 5 seconds until 686 appears. We need 7 though. So it's not 686. It's not 686. But, because this is 7.01, now it's showing that my distilled water is at 7.17, which is not what distilled water is. It's supposed to be at around 7. Is there any way to calibrate this to a 7? So I guess I will have to get a different buffering solution if I want the measurement to be more accurate. Anyway, let's check the TDS. That's what I want to use it for as well. Okay, no, ppm, sorry. 19, that's good. Let's check my tap or my RO water. 70, 95, 94. Okay, so my tap water is 94, which is good. It's not like distilled, but it's good. Because without the reverse osmosis, my tap water sits around 400, which is a lot. It's around 100 now, so that's greatly reduced. So what we're going to do now, and every time you need to wash this in distilled water is my understanding, I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to make the water for my Vandas and water them because they need it. So that's what I will be doing. I have about several 5-liter bottles. I think I need one more, so I'll see if I can find one more because I need about 25 liters, I think, for the vessel in which I soak my Vandas. And then I have to water a lot of plants because they're just so dry. I'm going to be using Orchid Focus Grow, not sponsored. There is 5 liters of water here. So I'm gonna add 2 of these caps and check the ppm. We were at 100. So we'll see how much we will be after 2 of these caps. And I'm realizing I will be needing a lot of fertilizer because I don't know how long I will be able to keep this water, but for 25 liters, this makes about 120 liters. So I'm gonna use quarter of this, which is crazy. But you know, if you're soaking them, they need to be soaked. I will try to keep this water for as long as I can. So I'll reuse it multiple times. This is not me now using it and throwing it away. I will be bottling it back up and label it Vanda water. That's what most people do anyway. So I will put 2 caps. I do believe this is 5 milliliters, but I could be wrong. And then I will shake it well. And I will be using this fertilizer for Hoya because currently getting the fertilizer that I usually use is a little bit expensive. I think it's not a bad idea to, you know, switch it up with the fertilizing routine. So let's check where we are at. They do say use 20 milliliters per 2 liters when you're dealing with Cymbidium. So those are heavy feeders. There is no note for Vanda. They say for Cymbidium, Dendrobium, Odontoglossum, Cambria, Basie, Miltonia, and others. So I guess they would say, but people do say Vandas can be quite hungry. But anyway, let's check. So it says 329. We started with 100, so the rest is nutrients. I think that's okay. It should be. I think I was going even up to 500 before when I was using rainwater, and I think my rainwater back then was around 50-ish, something like that, maybe a little bit lower back when I was checking this. And since now we are here, let's check the pH, because we may need to pH down this a bit. It's about a 7, 6.81, but we know that it's not quite accurate. That's about 7. So what I will do is I will put 2 caps in each of them, and I will just do a drop of my pH down, because I think slightly lower pH is better. You know, it should be probably around 6, so I'll just add a tiny drop. This will be much easier when I put my Vandas in baskets, but we're not there yet. Maybe by the time this video is filmed we will be. This one is 6-liter water, so I will just use 3 caps. I know a lot of people will probably say they don't even measure this. I'm with you. For several years I stopped measuring this. In the beginning I was very diligent, especially in semi-hydro. I was making sure to keep up with this, but then I let it go. And now we're back at it. I probably won't do this all the time. I will probably just occasionally check, and you know, I'm making this batch of water now. If I get to keep this for hopefully weeks and weeks and weeks, then I don't need to be checking this. I will check just to see if it's stable. I believe this counts as gym. And now I will just add a little bit of the pH down. I'm just gonna do 2 tiny drops of pH down, because this stuff can be pretty volatile. Okay, let's see how our pH is after this. Once again, gym. Next, come on, quickly, lift it with your core. Let's check the pH. This better be good. 6.7 was the last time, so plus 0.2. Let's see. Imagine if it's like 4. We are at 6.2. Let's leave it there, because there's probably some mistakes, so it's probably closer to 6.5. And it should be slightly under. It's probably around 6.3. I'm not going to do anything else now, except find yet another water bottle, and I will try to get 5 more liters ready, and then we can start watering the Vandas. Or spill all the water. Okay, so I have another batch of... another batch of Vanda water ready. Vanda water, yeah. W's and V's, mixing them up now. I have this huge outer pot that fits about 25 liters, a bit more. So I'm gonna fill it with all of this water that I have here and dunk the Vandas in. And of course, then I will have to return all the water back into these, because I can't keep this whole thing filled with water. I'm gonna tell you one thing, the more water that I put, it looks like I will need more. Let's just move this whole contraption here and start putting the Vandas. So first we're gonna do the old ones. This one is almost out of bloom. I expect that this one blooms for less. It's been in bloom for about a month and a half at this point, probably 2 months. And they bloom anywhere from 1 to 3 months. So unfortunately, she is reaching her end there. So I'm just gonna dunk her. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna dunk the bigger one, because... oh, that water smells. Kind of smells like someone farted. First, we're gonna dunk the big one, the big purple one. We do not want to get the basket in there. I mean, we do want to get as close as possible. I will need a tetanus shot after this. But you see, this is not extremely practical. So what I will do is I will make those baskets for the Vandas. And then I think it's going to be a little bit more manageable because I can then soak them in something shallower once the root system is somewhat contained. Because this really is not practical. Some people soak their Vandas overnight. I'm probably not going to do that. I will keep them in here for several hours, and then I will do the other ones. I don't like that they're going to be here overnight, but I think that's fine. I have a lot of things to tell you. This is, again, very chatty, what we're gonna do today, but I can't not tell you all of the things that have been going on. I do have a new Vanda here, which we will cover, because it's not the only one. Unfortunately, one of these is already going out of bloom. It's the white one, and I didn't get photos of that Vanda, so I would like to do that in this video to get some nice macro photos. It's gonna be by the end of probably next week, completely out of bloom. I did expect it because they've been in bloom for over a month for sure, and Vanda flowers, they say they last about 1 to 3 months. Now, this one was, again, the flowers were already open when it arrived to me, and essentially, like, this one is probably also not going to last that long. Some of the flowers are already damaged, but that's fine. We buy them with the flower, obviously, for the flower, but I do hope that I get to rebloom them very soon. In good conditions, they can bloom several times in a year. But before I start to get into plant chores, I just have to, like, rant a bit and maybe cry. Because I'm, like, holding it in. But I told you that months ago, I told you that I'm starting my driving lessons, like the driving course, and I passed the theory, scored 100. It doesn't happen that often. It was amazing. And I was like, yes, love it. And There was some delay. They didn't call me until recently for the actual driving lessons, and my instructor is horrible. Like the instructor they gave me, I only had 4 classes, so that's 2 days because you do 2 classes at once. He's just an absolute terrible man. He may be a decent-ish instructor, but he's absolutely awful. He screams at me all the time. He screams at me for no reason at all. He shakes me. He like actually grabs my hands from the wheel and starts to shake me because I'm a little bit tense. You know, today was my actual first day on the road. Yesterday I had 2 classes. In the first one he was just telling me about like the motor, how it works. The second class was on the polygon, so there's no traffic there, and we essentially went in circles, and he was already like, you know, shouting like a maniac for no reason. I don't really know, like, what do you expect? It is my first time in a car, so, and I thought I did really well actually, and I thought I did really well today as well. And I'm not being like delulu about it at all. I think it went well, but like he took me right away from my home to one of the busiest intersections in my town where there's like trucks and buses. And I was like, you know, and I wasn't panicking. I mean, I was obviously afraid, but like I was just a bit tense. You know, my hands were tense. I wasn't relaxed. Like I wasn't like chill about it, but I was like, you know, kind of, you know, with a lot of attention, you know, to the road. And when that happens, when he sees that I'm kind of like this, he grabs my hands while the car is running and he just starts to shake me. Which, like, now when I revisit that, I'm like, that's so not normal. Like, I swear to you, a quarter or even half of my class is him just like grabbing me and shaking me. It's to a point where today he told me like I should like drink some liquor before the class to relax, which is crazy. He basically said you should drink vodka before the class, and I'm like, or maybe you're not so insane. I mean, I can't believe it. And then, you know, he told me all of these stories how, you know, his previous students like cried in the car. And I'm like, you motherfucker, I did not come here to cry. I'm not gonna cry. Actually, we had a fight today. And I'm someone who had like the threshold is so high with me. Once you get over that threshold, well, may the Lord help you. But the threshold is very high until I actually, you know, give you a piece of my mind. And we reached that within 30 minutes today. And I was like, listen, yes, I am afraid, but if you keep yelling at me, I'm not going to become less afraid. It's just not going to work out. And then his counter argument was like, well, then we're not a good match. And I'm like, yeah, okay, we're not a good match. I'm just going to change the instructor. It's like, okay, but the other instructor is also gonna, like, you know, this is not good driving. Like, yeah, it's not good driving because it's my actual first day on the road. Might as well be my first class because the polygon doesn't even count. I wasn't doing any actual driving there. Like, it was just on a dirt road in a circle. Like, you know, this is traffic, real life situation. There's people, there's other cars, kids on the road for some reason. And like, yeah, it is my absolute first time. And you're taking me to like quite busy streets. Not the busiest that you have ever seen, obviously. This is a small town, but like it's busy. So I was like, okay, then I'm never gonna learn how to drive. Look, if I care, I don't care. I don't care. I was like, I don't care. Okay, I'm never gonna learn. What's your next? And then he kind of dropped the ball there. He dropped the ball after that, and like the rest of the class, he was okay. She still shouted a bit, but nowhere near like the first time. And I mean, in that argument, he also kind of mocked me. He was like, well, what am I supposed to use? My inside voice? And to all of you people who are like tough love kind of a guy, like this is not, you can't teach people like this. I taught English to Chinese kids for years, for 5, 6 years. I never yelled at them. That's not teaching, that's bullying. All of that tough love stuff, that's not how you teach people. Like I've had countless teachers, and guess who never worked? All of the teachers who shouted, who yelled, like it just didn't work. Like my piano teacher, the best one was the one who was actually normal, you know? Not the ones who bully you. You can't bully people and pretend it's teaching. It doesn't work. it's not about generations being sensitive. You're just all insane. Like, this guy is insane. So it's not nothing to do with being sensitive. It's just like, you're just not a fit person to be an instructor. But you know, I mean, like, I really don't think I'm the worst candidate at all. Like, yes, I do make mistakes. Obviously, once again, first day, gear shift, learning to drive with a gear shift on the first day, and like there's a clutch. It's hard. And of course I'm not used to the whole gear shift situation. You just showed it to me once, and like now I'm supposed to blindly change the gears while paying attention to the road, finding where the clutch is, because like I don't have a sense for these things. Like, this is my second time in the car, in the driver's seat. And the first time wasn't even on the road. So there's so many things. Like, I play the piano. I can play the piano blindfolded. I can absolutely play the piano very well blindfolded. Because I got a sense for that stuff. And yeah, I couldn't do it on my second try, obviously. It took years. And I'm not saying this is going to take years, obviously. Like, there's just like, what, 5 gears in like a reverse. But it's going to take more. And by the end of the class, I got pretty good at it. Not amazing, but I got pretty good at it. But like, if you weren't screaming at me, maybe it wouldn't, because I'm like still tense about it, of course. And like, again, he keeps shaking me for no reason at all. So yeah, I just had to share that. I've been sharing this story like several times today with different people because I'm shook. And then like, so before I actually started this lesson, this driving lesson, I saw a girl from my group, from my theory group, and I was like, did they actually call you? Because no one called me for my driving lessons. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm almost done with my driving. And then she told me her sister, who was also part of my group, got this instructor, but I kind of forgot the name. And then now I remembered. And she said, if you get him, change him. He's horrible. So I wish I remembered that name, but I didn't. But you know, it's gonna be fine tomorrow if he doesn't behave like in a normal capacity without bullying me and shaking me. Like, you feel like he's gonna slap you. That's the feeling that you get, and I'm not being dramatic. Like, I know I'm a lot of times dramatic on the channel, but like, this is not me being dramatic. This is me just being realistic, because I feel a slap is coming, and let me tell you, if you slap me, it's gonna be the last thing you will do with that hand. So yeah, it's not great. We're gonna get that off of our minds. I mean, there's so many other things that he told me, the crazy stuff, like, why are you afraid? Why, you're afraid you're gonna hit someone? So what? I'm gonna be responsible, not you. And I'm like, okay, but can we not hit someone though? I mean, what sort of a crazy advice is that? Sorry, I had to get that off of my chest. Like, this will be getting stuff off of my chest type of a video. I feel. Oh, I have a headache from this whole thing. I have a headache. I counted the hours yesterday. I was like, I came back and I had a work meeting, which I will talk about my new job. And after that meeting, I was like, oh my gosh, there are like 17 more hours until I have to meet him again. And now it's like, what, 5 p.m.? So I have class tomorrow at 10 a.m. Oh my goodness. But on the bright side, I'm not as much afraid of the driving as I'm afraid of this person. Anyway, we are going to dedicate our time now to the plants. I spilled, before the class, I knocked over this not praetori, platycollis. So I need to pot it up again. And I think I will just change the pot, because I do believe now I have some see-through pots that this can go in. It's doing a little bit better. Initially it wasn't doing so hot, but I think it's doing a little bit better now. So I do have like a vision of what I need to do. I will try to get as many things as I can done tonight. And then tomorrow it's like class time, and I need to face my cabinet video. I made a cabinet, which you will have seen by now, because I am fully committed to that video coming out before this one. But anyway, we need to do a lot of planty work. I just want to lay down and not look at anything, but I think plant chores are gonna make me feel better. So I will change the angle a bit and start. I'm at a stage where there's so much to do, that I'm paralyzed a bit. But we're unparalyzed. We are unparalyzing ourselves today. Okay, so the cabinet is here, and I watered my Vandas. The first one is going out pretty fast with the flowers, the white one, unfortunately. But the purple one is still doing relatively good. The flowers are quite firm. One of them is about to be done blooming, but you know, what are you gonna do? So I moved my Vandas here. They are gonna be moved a little bit up. You can't really see well because, well, we are in a backlit type of a situation, but this one is gonna go up. All of them are gonna go up. This is one of the first Vandas that I got. You can see that the old flower here is already going, but these are still strong and quite firm. This is the one that has slightly longer lasting flowers. They're quite big. The white one, unfortunately, is going, the flowers are going, and you know, they have been in bloom for about a month and a half, and they did, you know, they already came with open flowers, so unfortunately, you can see that they are leaving us. It's a little bit sad, but you know, I am optimistic that we can make her rebloom again. I am a little bit addicted now to having Vandas in bloom. So one of the leaves here is yellowing. I don't know if this is stress related because of how they arrived. I'm not going to take it off. Typically, I've heard it's not really a great sign with Vandas that they are losing a leaf, but I just think it's normal because they have been shipped in pretty cool weather. There is one that concerns me from the new ones, which I will show you in a bit. But this one also lost a leaf somewhere here. And it was already damaged when it arrived and it just yellowed off. But the rest of them are going strong, they're firm. They have been soaking for several hours yesterday and they haven't soaked up as much water. So that means that they are probably not very thirsty. And this is one of the new ones, and I will just show you how that looks. It has a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous flower. I will have to show you again in not a backlit type of a situation, but very pretty. But it does have, it did arrive like this with several yellowing leaves, so I hope she's gonna be okay. She does seem a bit dehydrated, but the roots look good. And I was soaking her last night. Not all, this one doesn't look good, but majority of them look okay. So she was soaking quite a bit last night, and hopefully she's going to make it. I don't know. I think some of this is also like exposure perhaps to higher light, but this is how she arrived. And then this other one, this is also a new one. It has a bit of yellowing here. I don't know if you can see, but the flower is absolutely stunning. That color is magnificent. Now she is in this type of a situation. I'm not gonna be able to remove that without damaging the roots. I'm just gonna leave it, but I'm gonna try to pot them. And they have substantial roots, so I just think we might see a couple of weird things happen. I am concerned about this one, the new one, because that's a lot of yellowing that I don't like. But, you know, she may be fine. There is a guy in Florida who grows Vandas and he says that they should have all the leaves, but, you know, it's a different situation here in Europe. They're not ideal plants for cooler climates. Now this one I absolutely love. I got this one also recently. And essentially this is the one that the person I got this from, I ordered a Vanda from them in December when I sort of told you I'm planning to get a Vanda, and I told them anything but purple. And several days ago she messaged me and she said she found one and she showed me the photo. and I couldn't say no. I mean, it's actually one of my favorite colors of Vandas. This is the one that I this is the one that I killed. This is the same type of Vanda from Ansu, the orange one, that I got here out of bloom in a flower store. It's, at least they say it was orange, and it had atrocious roots. And this one, they're not looking much better. Now she's pretty tight in here, so I want to soak this one. I haven't watered her yet, but I need to just gently lift her out of this to soak her. So you can see they jam them in there. So that's not great. I mean, all for aesthetics, right? I really don't like this. I really don't. She's not gonna live like this, but now the trick is to get her out so I can soak her. I actually just would be happy to lift her up a bit so she can be properly soaked. She does have new roots growing, so that's good. And she doesn't feel dehydrated, but we can definitely see some there. So once again, let's just... I'm not pulling way too hard. Okay. I think... we got her. Okay. I didn't want to get her all the way out, but you can see she has a new root there, but the rest of the roots are in pretty bad shape. And my friend told me that these thin roots of Vanda, it means they grew in very high humidity. She's quite smaller than the others, and these have chunkier roots, so they could be potentially more adjusted, but these are very, very thin roots and they don't look good. We'll try our best. So this one might need more, and now when I look at her, I actually see that she is quite dehydrated down here. But I'm gonna be hopeful because of this new root tip here. So I'm gonna remain hopeful, and let's just soak her. I was hoping to lift her just... oh, there is another new root, so that's good. She has several new roots, and maybe it's not the worst. So I will actually just soak her again here. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do it. I think what I will do is I will just hook her. So I just have these metal things. And then the goal for today, we have many goals for today. We need to put another light in here for the Vandas, lift them up, and water a lot of the plants. A lot of the plants need to be watered. She's beautiful, and I hope she's not gonna have the face of her orange predecessor, but I do need to do a lot of watering and then editing videos. I'm gonna put her almost all the way down, so I don't have to put all the water in there. So she's kind of like, you can see, all the way in there. So I'm just using the same water. Oh. Yeah, it sucks. So I guess I'm not gonna be looking at a lot of these Vandas in the vases, because I'm just not impressed with that root system. Girl escaped us. So she's soaking there, and I'm just gonna leave her for a good part of the day in here soaking, and she's not gonna go back into this vase, and none of these would fit into any sort of vases. So pray for this one, and let's hope we can rebloom all of them. So they're going to be getting more light, a basket, and going all the way up there. So that's all the updates for the future. I'm quite happy with the variety of colors. They look very nice. We just hope that they're going to do well. Yeah, so we will be lifting them up and changing the light. And yeah, the cabinet needs to be filled with Hoya, but that's just not a task we can get done today. Today it's gonna be just watering and editing, and I need to finish some posts for my new work, which I will be talking about, but first I need to get my big philodendron billeti watered. I don't know if you can tell, but that billeti is super dehydrated, so I'm going to water him and all of the aroids that also all look very dehydrated. It's been a while since I watered them. He also needs a good shower. Oh my gosh. I've been so busy with the work, but like you can see, he's very dehydrated. But the good thing about the organic mixes is they are not going to desiccate the roots. But obviously, don't do this, because he's very sad. Though he's not losing any leaves, so I guess that's good. That one is watered, or being watered. It's soaking up everything. Now I have to bring down all of these. My UFP definitely needs more love. This is why when people tell you underwatering is better than overwatering, is it, guys? You clearly have not met me. I will say though, Polypoidus is growing quite fast. I'm actually kind of happy with... It's growing really fast. That's good. That's good. Okay, we have several more to water. I can't remember where I put the one philodendron that was here. I lose plants all the time. Where did I put you? It was the not the snowdrift, but the other one. Oh, my ring of fire is looking really bad. My ring of fire is looking like you put it in fire. Not in a good way. Not sure me or there is a good way to put something in fire. This one was looking better because it actually started to get some variegation, but the leaves are staying very small on this radiatum, so I think this one is gonna get the boot because he's just not doing what I want him to do, and I have no patience to figure out why he isn't growing bigger leaves because they're staying tiny. But this leaf, sorry for the backlit situation, let me try to improve that. You can see here, and of course now the manual focus is activated, but there is some variegation on that leaf. Okay, anyway, so he needs to get water, and then there is still the case of the missing philodendron where I don't know. Oh no, is that a dog walking in the middle of the road? There is. Get out of the road. Oh, my tortum is looking so bad. Why have I not watered these plants? It's honestly, I have not had the time. I can't even remember. It's been like weeks at this point since they were watered. And this leaf, oh, okay, well the newest leaf has thrips. The newest leaf has thrips. Yep. Well, let's get it off. That's the thing here. That's the thing. Like, are we just at this point fucking with me? You know, I have a new job. I'm doing another job. I'm doing all of these things, trying to keep up here, and now you're giving me thrips. Like, I'm just gonna say that's a very a-hole thing to do. Yeah, this will need to get treated for thrips. I found thrips on some of the aroids back there, but I think I'm in the clear there. I don't know if those came with orchids. I don't see any thrips on the orchids, but I think maybe we need to treat them too. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not gonna have any space to isolate those because they're huge. I'm still trying to find the variegated snowdrift, which is called a different name. I swear this is as if I never had that plant. And it's 100% in this room, but I don't know where. Anyway, now we know we have to treat for thrips as well. I might try the neem oil. Not the neem oil, it's not neem oil, but that, it's similar to Azamax. I guess I will just not water the variegated snowdrift because I cannot find it. Oh, here it is. It's still hanging. I didn't even spot it because of all the Vandas. It's still hanging. We need to treat him too. He doesn't have any thrips, but he probably will. So let's get to the washing, to the showering. Oh my goodness. Aren't we incredibly close? Today is very chaotic. I have a lot of work to do. There are several issues that are happening all across the board. Thank you very much, Monday, for being so kind to me. There are challenges in many aspects of both of the works that I'm doing. So one, it's the YouTube channel. And at the beginning, or maybe at the end of January / beginning of February, I started to work for a company that is called, well, maybe it's not important what the company is called yet. I will mention it probably more in future videos, but I started to work for essentially this consulting company that has several clients, and I got signed up for one of the client accounts. This account has to do with very good, very natural supplements. And essentially what I do is I manage their social media, but I also create posts for their social media. So we're talking videos, we're talking Instagram posts. I mean, the videos are also on Instagram, but they're like short form videos, very informative sciencey reels, and some sort of lifestyle posts. So the way that this company, or the way that this works, is I have to essentially deliver a month worth of content ahead. Actually more than that, but I'm catching up because I just got signed on, and I recently delivered the entire February, which was kind of late. I mean, it wasn't late because, once again, I'm just signing on to this, but I just delivered March. Most of March, I have a couple of posts to get done, which we will do one of the posts now. You're not gonna do them. It's gonna be me. I have to do that, and then there are a couple of changes that I need to make with some of the posts that I made. There's like a tiny mistake, so I need to do that. And there is an issue with the program that we're using to schedule this stuff for Instagram. The program is called Buffer. If you work in social media, you're familiar with Buffer. Buffer and Instagram are having a dispute, I guess. I don't know, they're having an issue because some of my posts are not going through. They're not being, I schedule them and I do everything correctly, but for whatever reason, they're not being posted on Instagram. No issue with Facebook, even though it's the same, essentially same company, but for whatever reason, there's some issues with Instagram. So I need to look into that. I need to finish the post, and then we can come back to the planned content. I am having an issue with one of the newly acquired Vandas as well. She's kind of sitting here, and I am worried. I'm very worried that she might have fusarium. Fusarium, for all of you who grow orchids, especially you who grow and know about Vandas, is a very, very serious fungal issue, fungal disease, and it lives in the crown of the plant and essentially very quickly can kill off the entire plant. It's on the Vanda that just arrived. It's been a couple of days and we see that there is some yellowing here. This is not normal yellowing. Typically the yellowing will start at the end. Now, I am concerned because we can see all of a sudden, I don't know if you have, I have some photos from a couple of days, but these leaves were green. There was an indication that they're gonna go yellow. And we'll see. This one is going, all of these that have started to yellow, they're gonna go for sure. And we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10. We're gonna lose a bunch of leaves here. And this is gonna happen very quickly. The stem feels firm, so that's good. No water got into the crown. I think this could be either fusarium, and like this leaf is really on its way. It also could be that this plant just suffered major stress because of shipping. I don't know. The upper leaves look good. I got fungicide to help me out. I'm just checking to see if this is, yeah, this all seems firm. So we'll see. We're definitely losing these leaves. There's no turning back here. The root system doesn't indicate fusarium. There is a certain way that roots can look like when there is fusarium. I have looked at them. I don't see such an issue on the roots yet. Some of them are broken, but nothing indicates fusarium necessarily on the roots. So this could just be stress. It could be that this is a weaker cross. I don't know. It could be stress because of the shipping. Thank you very much for that, whoever. I don't see any pests, but this is just so rapid that it really happened overnight. One way to find out if you have fusarium is to cut into the plant. When you cut into the plant, you will see that there is like a purple coloration, purple ring. And I don't want to do that yet, but yeah, there's just, this is not good. Obviously, this is not good. Sudden leaf drop of this. No leaf drop on Vanda is good. Let me just make that clear. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. If it stops, okay, you know, it's not great. She will get keikis. I will try my best to recover this plant. Listen, I'm trying not to get too paranoid that this is fusarium, even though we have good reason. We have, you know, it's a risk. If I had more courage, what I would do is I would cut into this Vanda. All of this, we would have to sacrifice all of the roots, cut into the Vanda and see right away. But I'm trying not to be paranoid. Once again, I'm trying to stay calm. I do have the fungicide to help me out, but we're gonna be losing one more leaf here for sure, and hopefully then it will stop. I think if this is stress because of the shipping, and listen, this is a tropical plant. This was shipped in winter. Whose fault is it? It's mine. This would have been shipped anyway to someone else, so, you know, it's just that it was shipped to me, but it's just one of the risks. And I'm just, you know, these leaves on the bottom, they're mostly yellow already. And again, if the yellowing was from the edge of the leaf, that would be fine. But this yellowing from the center is just not a good sign. But this was slightly discolored when it arrived, so I suspected something was wrong with it from the start. I don't know. What do you think? Do you know something? Fusarium-wise, is this fusarium? Do we know? My camera is not showing you really well, but I'm going to keep her away from my other Vandas for now. The other one is also going to lose one more leaf. And so far, almost or all of the Vandas have lost at least one leaf. One leaf I'm not too worried about. I think it's pretty, how do I say this? It's pretty unrealistic to expect nothing to happen because these are being shipped in winter. Why do you get them in winter? Because now they're most available. Probably later they will be to some extent available, but I don't know to what. It's definitely a risk for sure. Does this mean I'm going to stop buying Vandas? No. I really want to have several Vandas that are going to do well, and if this keeps happening with these Ansu Vandas, well, first of all, I'm going to make a video to trash the company, because if someone knows that they have fusarium, it's the company. The company who sells them, they would know. They would have to know. For me, there is no way to test this for fusarium. No kit online available. Some of you might suggest that. The only way for me to know is to cut into the plant, and I'm avoiding to do that. I'm avoiding being overly hysterical. So that's that. The fungicide, we'll see if it works. Typically, they're not as effective. I did find one that is supposedly very, very effective for crops, but it can only be purchased in 1 liter or 15-liter batches. 1 liter batch is 100 euros, $100. That's very expensive. 15-liter one, 2,000. I'm not going to be buying 2,000 worth of fungicide. I don't own a nursery. I don't need that. I need just very little. So I did buy something that's maybe not as good. We'll try to use it tomorrow, not now because it's afternoon and they need time to dry out. Overall, leaf aside, the leaves seem firm. The currently unaffected leaves seem firm. The roots seem okay. They green up when I soak them. Fusarium is wilt, essentially. The plant does not look like it's wilting. Again, affected leaves aside, so we will just have to see. I will treat all of the plants with the fungicide first. This one, she's going to be the guinea pig. If she lives through the treatment, then I'm going to treat all of them. And I think one by one is the best way to treat this, instead of doing all 5 at once. If this one goes, I'm going to still have 4. Hopefully those live. And if I'll probably order a couple of more and then be done for the time being. But I really wanted to have, 6, 7 Vandas to grow and to basket to have hanging here next to the desk. But anyway, let's first just fix the issue that I have with one of the posts. I'm currently having a mealybug problem on one of my Hoyas that has been treated gazillion times, and I'm so tired of it. I'm absolutely so tired of that. Okay, so I got one of the things finished. I also need to check this other program that we use to organize the entire team, because I work with a team. I can't believe that something that generally is not a lot of work can take so much work. I have been faced with this also when I started to work on my YouTube channel. You think it's going to be easy. You think you're just going to sit down and start filming the videos, turn on the camera, sit in front of the camera and start talking. But actually a lot more planning goes into all of this. And like these posts that I see, similar types of posts on Instagram, I always think it's just like so little work. And in fact, a bunch of planning goes into it, brainstorming, etc. All that I do here is not currently a full-time job yet, but a lot of planning went into both of these months, and I'm actually very proud of the work that I did. I'm not always proud of all the, and maybe I have the same issue like with YouTube. I think I did something really good, and then I look back at it later, and I'm like, you are so basic, you should be shot. And I still have those moments where I look at some of these posts and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's embarrassingly basic. But I think I should just not think about that like that. Same with my videos, I record a video, I edit it once, and then when I review it, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so basic. How are you not embarrassed to put this out there? But like as I edit it, sometimes I'm like, this is kind of great. And then once I review it, I'm like, oh my goodness, stop it. Find a hole, go in it. Does anyone else have these issues? I don't know. But anyway, I'm figuring out how to balance these two jobs, and I think it's possible, especially when I get ahead. It will be much better. I will be up to date with. And I think this job is going to give me even more structure, which I actually appreciate. I don't thrive on chaos at all, even though currently chaotic, but I really don't thrive on chaos. I do thrive on structure. And sometimes it does feel overwhelming, when you have like a bunch of stuff to do, but I don't know. I like waking up and knowing I need to get this done today. With my YouTube channel, I can always say, well, it doesn't have to be done, but this really does. This really does. I'm not my own boss here. So I think it's good. So many things have happened since January in my life, in the world, that I don't think I could have predicted. I could not have predicted the the shift. It's been going on for a decade, this whole shift in the country, but I did not predict that the light is so near as it currently is. So, it's just things have happened in the recent few months where my priorities really shifted, and worrying about stuff like mealybugs, fusarium, stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's still a worry, but I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm finally getting away from that grip that sometimes plants put on you, and they put that same grip on you too, because I see it through my comments how people panic about their plants and how terrible they feel. But honestly, why do we do it then? Why do you grow plants if you're going to feel terrible about something that happens? Because this fusarium is completely out of my hands. Completely. And I woke up this morning, and first of all, I felt anxiety because of the driving. So I was like, oh, I have to go and see that person. And then I was like, oh, fusarium. I, and then now I'm like, but it's completely, I didn't do this. I ordered the plant, it arrived like that. I can't, I have no power over the fungi, over the fungus, right? Even the mealybugs, like, yeah, I control them, I get rid of them or not. And when plants die because I don't water them, completely on me, but like this, and I felt so bad about it. Like, I spotted it last night. I saw that things are getting really bad. But when I was recording, for example, on Saturday, the plants looked fine. And then I took half of the Saturday, and then the Sunday I took off. I just was editing that cabinet video. And when I was done, and when I finally look at the plants again, 24 hours later, it was already like shocking. So I don't know. I don't really know what the point of this is. I guess the point of this is get a cat. There's no point. There's no message, there's no point. I think I'm wiser than I am. I need to clean this too. I'm not going to do that in this vlog. We're going to have a lot more vlogs, planned vlogs. The spring is coming, so we need a lot of stuff to do. We need to finish a lot of things. But I think what I want to do now is clean this up a little bit. First eat, clean this up a little bit, figure out what I'm going to do with this 666 bastard. And yeah, mostly spend my day cleaning around plants, and I need to clean out my closet. That's been weighing on me. This vlog is really like getting stuff in line that's weighing on me. My Basias are looking fire. Fire. Some of those are looking amazing. Oh, one more is going to bloom. Oh, that reminds me, I saw a begonia for sale that I really want. I should actually check if it's available. What did I just say in this part of the vlog is completely beyond me. I think I went on some wise trajectory. I guess we will see when I start to edit this video. Was I wise? Was I not wise? Why are you yellowing? Do you want food? Do you too want food? Reminds me, I need to water my... Oh, these plants are possessed. They're possessed with spirits that dry the water from them. They are 100% possessed. Now, where do we put this? Oh, goodness gracious, my people. My people, my people. We had a difficult day today. It was a very difficult day. I haven't updated you on my driving And I'm going to, like, my forehead is going to break here. I'm going, not only am I going to lose all of my hair, my skin is going to crack. That's how much I tightened this bun. Like, for goodness gracious, Miro. Where was I? I wasn't anywhere because I haven't started yet, but today was a difficult day. It's been several days since I updated you on my driving and how that is going, and honestly, it was going better. We did have that argument, and I sort of told him, this is just not gonna work with the whole screaming and shouting, and it did start to improve actually by a lot. And then this weekend you are supposed to have like one lesson where you're driving from one town to another using the road that connects two towns. It's like a higher speed road. 80 kilometers per hour is allowed. This place was about 40 kilometers away, maybe 30, something like that. But you know, it was a good practice and it all went well. And yesterday was also good. We drove around the town here. We tackled all the bigger and complicated intersections, and it was okay. I made like maybe three, four mistakes yesterday, but nothing too major. It was fine. Today, awful, awful. First of all, there was so much traffic. The traffic lights weren't working. There were tractors, buses, trucks, vans, cars, people on the road, cyclists, kids on the road. I did not, it was so bad. So bad. My anxiety through the roof. Thankfully, I have several more classes this week, like 4 more. That's a lot. And then he goes on some trip to probably hell or something like that to torture someone else. And then by the time he comes back, hopefully he stays long. Wherever he's going, I hope it's like for more than a day. And then when he comes back, I should probably be like getting ready for Sweden anyway. So anyway, not the point of this video. I mean, it's an update. You asked for an update in the sense that you didn't, but you know, whatever. So we have work to do. What I want to do today is figure out what I'm going to do with these plants, potentially water the cabinets. They're looking okay-ish. That cabinet in the back, which you don't see because of all of these Hoya, that needs to also be watered. So I want to make some space in the room. And I think in the past video I had told you that I want to finish the cabinet, which I do, but we're not going to be able to do that today or tomorrow. It's just too much for this week, too much work. I have stuff to do for my other job, and I need to finish this video, plan future content, especially because I'm going on a trip. But what I did this morning, I did spray my Vanda with a fungicide, and she's hanging upside down so she can fully drain. But yeah, she's not looking better. These leaves are, again, going to leave us. I think, honestly, see? I expect, let's flip her. I think she's dry enough. This is the last leaf where I see some yellowing. So if it spreads beyond that, well, shucks. I'm not going to tug on any of these leaves, but it's clear to me that these are going to leave. These are just not going to be saved, unfortunately. So we will see. I don't know. Oh, well, that leaf is goner. It's quite unfortunate. But the stem is not mushy. I do hope it stops here and it doesn't continue. And we'll see after that how she will grow. It's going to be difficult to provide some good conditions for her because I don't want to put her in the premium spot where the rest of my plants are, where the rest of the Vandas are. To be quite honest with you, I'm not particularly in love with this flower. Maybe I don't like this. Maybe I would love this if she arrived healthier. I think I would, because I actually wanted Vanda with this type of a flower, but because instantly when she arrived, I saw issues. I don't know. I started to dislike her from day one. The reason why I'm not cutting her, again, the yellowing is so high up that we would have to cut somewhere here. If there is fusarium. This really could be due to high stress. I'll try my best. But I'm not going to cry about losing that Vanda. Now, I will have to wash my hands. And yeah, these are gonna go into the trash, but this is just not normal the way that they are going. I mean, this is a good time to check. Honestly, if this was pests, it would be the best. Like, I really wish it was like mites or something else, but you know what, the way that fusarium works is the plant starts to wilt. That's the reason why you start to get the yellowing. From my understanding, the main axis of the plant starts to die back, really like to have this dry type of a wilt, and it prevents the water to go up. So the water cannot be taken up by the plant. Because this is not dehydrated, especially in the upper leaves, I do think maybe this is just really, really, really just a great deal of stress that this plant went through. I don't want that for her, but I wish Queen wasn't stressed at all. But like if I can choose between super stressed and fusarium, I choose super stressed. Sorry girl, I'm also under stress. Because then we will eventually recover her. She's not gonna look pretty for a while, but the summer is coming. There's gonna be more light and I will be taking a magnificent care of them. So I just hope it's not fusarium, because then who knows what will happen with the rest of them. Can people get fusarium? Can I start wilting away, wasting away? Let me just show you a Phalaenopsis that I have in bloom. You've seen it before, but now she has more flowers. I recently repotted this one, and I mean, it's crazy, but look at that. Oh, what a good bloomer. 2 flower spikes, one quite small, but this one, like, she is doing really well. I need to water them though. Let me see if we're gonna spike more. I didn't do anything special. Very easy to bloom this. Very cute. I am definitely back into my orchid days. So let's move you a little bit further back, which I actually don't even know how you're gonna see because of all the Vanda roots. My Hoya pandurata. I'm just gonna trim that. That looks like crap. Listen, I'm having problems with this wall. It's hard to water, very, very hard to water. The pots are not suitable. Those carnivorous plants need to be watered, but they're doing really well, so I'm gonna soak them now. I am either going to repot those Hoya in pots like these, so exchange the pot that they have for this one. This is a good cover pot. They're directly potted in those white ones. They have like a small saucer, and if you water a little bit, the water just comes out. Here there is like a reservoir. So I will either change it to this or take down the wall completely, because I'm just done. I'm just done with that wall. Hard to water. It's so hard to water. It's not even, it's like okay, but not the most beautiful thing ever. It's just too much of a hassle, you know? I like having something green up there, but it's just not worth it. I don't know where I will put then the plants, and I do like the idea of green walls, I really do, but it's just, I have to get up on the bed to water. The bed is not stable enough. The mattress is old, I keep falling through. It's just not enjoyable. It's not even about the plant care being too much. It's just like, I don't even enjoy doing it. We do have Vanda roots here. They look crazy. It does look very jungly, very jungle vibes with them. Oh, my Hoya is blooming. My chicken farm is blooming. I don't know where I'm gonna put all of these. So that's gonna be tricky. I think I need to find a very, very temporary spot for them. I may put them on the top of my cabinet, actually. That's not a bad idea. Do they fit? I think at least one row is going to fit there until I figure out exactly what I'm gonna do. Lost a leaf on Tam Tao. Was ugly one too, so no one cares. Let's get into work. This also needs to be watered. badly. I also still have mealybugs on some of my Hoya. I have a Hoya, my amicabilis actually is in the hallway. Is it amicabilis? Yes, it is amicabilis. And that one has been banished from the room. I've treated that one with alcohol 3,000 times so far, maybe 4,000 times. Every single week I have more mealybugs on it. And I think I even used systemic on it. Didn't work. So I might just throw it away. I love Hoya amicabilis. It's actually one of my favorite Hoya, if you know me. If you watch my videos, and you do because you're here. It's one of my favorite Hoya, but I'm just done with relentless mealybug attacks. This is Coriacea from Cartel Dawn, and this one is growing. And then I will put this shelf back behind the tent. That's why I didn't move the big tent all the way to the closet, because I want to put a shelf in between the tent and the closet where I can still put some prop boxes, because I want to take down the big tent. I don't want this to look crazy anymore. I don't want this to look overwhelming. It's probably going to look naked for a moment there. Interestingly, this Hoya is looking better when she's out of the cabinet. I don't know what's up with this. Yin Yang Yensis, 2 years. Oh, more root rot. Great. I am not going to be growing any more Hoya that are so stubbornly evil and difficult. You're not worth it. They're not worth it. If you think they're worth it, you're wrong. If you try to convince me that Vandas are not worth it, you're also wrong. Because my Yin Yang Yensis, I don't know, I'm going to give it a go with another Yin Yang Yensis because that one was bad since the day I got it. Terrible. Rotted million times. I see it rotted now too. Who knows why? It rotted in every potting mix that it could rot in. Every single one, every single combination. It's not even watering. It was even in self-watering. Now it's not in self-watering. It doesn't get too dry, but it just rots like nothing else. And I will give it a go with another, but if it proves to be problematic, I'm just not going to, I will not feel good about growing Yin Yang Yensis well, quote unquote, because I don't want to suffer that much. I really don't, I'm not about suffering. It's fine to have a challenging plant, realistic challenge, but Naihusia too. When is the girl gonna bloom? Who knows? The conditions aren't right in this room for her. She keeps dropping the buds no matter what I do. It's just too hot. What am I gonna chill down the entire room? No. No. I need to say this again and again and again because I need to remind myself again and again and again. If it's being clearly told to you by these plants they don't want to be growing, stop trying. It's okay to have a challenge. Yes, we all love a challenge, but sometimes the challenge is too challenging, which is why it's called the challenge. I'm so wise. I hate you. I think I'm just gonna, I know I said 6 months to this plant, but I think she's not gonna get 6 months. Also, my variegated bells are dead. They had mites and mealybugs and everything in between, and I just couldn't save them. I stopped watering them. They're dead. Maybe I will take a cutting. Probably not. They were beautiful ones, and I treated them. And every single treatment, sulfur treatment they got, the paraffin they got, they couldn't stop losing the leaves. The mites got to them. It's not the lack of effort on my part. It's the lack of effort on their part. And listen, bye-bye. You're not that special. You're not that special. If this was a relationship, you would agree. And we should treat this as a relationship, and it's very toxic. By the way, this orchid is also recovering. This one I totally messed up because I didn't water her enough, but actually she was in a mix that wasn't appropriate for her. But as soon as I repotted her, and I did this in one of my Patreon videos, and I need to figure out better pots for these orchids. I want nicer hanging pots. She's doing so much better. The roots are growing, new roots are activating. I typically would have cut this flower spike, but who knows what reason I left it. And now she's kind of making this weird thing. It's a Phalaenopsis. It's one of those big lip Phalaenopsis. This has as big of a flower as a Vanda. So these are quite good actually. But I don't know, now I kind of like that she's doing this. Kind of like it. She should have more than 3 leaves, but hey. There a new update for my patrons. She has new roots. I repotted this less than a month ago, and she is growing new roots. All of the orchids that are repotted in that video are growing new roots, except for probably Paphiopedilums, but those are kind of slow. But let me just show you. Could I update my Patreons in a Patreon video? Yes, but I will just bitch about something. This, I hate that I did this. I hate that I put it into this, but I didn't have a pot big enough, so I'll probably repot it eventually. But this Phalaenopsis, which is massive, massive. I'm very tall. This is very big orchid. This is one of those 5-liter distilled water bottles. It's spiking. It has a new flower spike as soon as I repotted it. So this one definitely needed to be taken care of better. And the roots are fine. It has a massive root system. I will probably, if the Vandas are okay, on the opposite side of Vandas, I will probably put something on the wall of my tent and then put some of the orchids there. Let me just move you a little bit down. This is yet another latifolia. We shall see what I will do with all of these. Do you even see what I'm doing? I don't think you do. What I'm currently doing is I'm making more mess. I'm trying to move this so I can water the plants in the back and I can water this cabinet here. So I'm trying to move everything to other side, but oof, this also needs, everything needs dusting here. Do you remember when I told you I was gonna repot this? Listen guys, I still haven't. It's growing really well, but like, we need to repot this plant. I don't know, shoot me. It's grown so much actually, I can't believe it. That this has grown so much. I'm always amazed. Maybe I just need a full wall of staghorn ferns. You know what's cute? I'm moving all of these plants in hopes to move this shelf, but I'm also blocking my way at the same time. So where exactly are we moving it? I don't know. Don't know, and I don't care. Have you listened to new FKA Twigs? She has a great new album. This is gonna be such a good year for everything that I listen to. Like FKA Twigs has a new album. Lana will be coming up with a new album around my birthday, a bit later. Lady Gaga will have a new album soon. What a great year. I think someone else is gonna have like a album. London Grammar had a new album last year, which I loved. What am I gonna do with you? Do you have a new album? But I just, every time I see these huge leaves, I'm in love. Can you believe I still didn't kill this Calathea? The other one is dead. This one has some dry leaves. She needs to be replenished. Does she have mites? I don't even see that many mites. I see a lot of dust, but not... Is that a mealybug? Yep. I think I saw a mealybug. Well, there you go. She has mealybugs. I guess 2025 is not gonna be my mealybug-free year. I'm just gonna show her the finger when you're not looking. We will Azamax that. We will try to Azamax that. What was I doing? I was checking on these plants, yeah. They're looking really well. Some of them are looking really good. That one of the Hoyas I see here is growing so much better in lower light. It's so interesting to see, once you change the light a bit, how wrong you were. How dumb you were to grow it in high light. My Discipula is in bloom. How lovely. Discipula really loves lower light in this cabinet. And so seems to me Irisaya loves to be in the lower light too. They look, most of them look good in this cabinet, so that's something nice. They still, some of them need the repot that are in very small pots. They need a repot, but overall I would say their health is pretty good. And I have to tell you, in this cabinet, Dischidia estefana, you will see her. I'm gonna show her. She's looking so good. Oh my goodness. See, that's what I need. I need sexiest plants. Don't want struggle. Like slower growth, sure, but like if you're gonna be dropping leaves on me, go away. Go away. Oh my gosh, also I need to paint my room. The amount of mold is staggering. This is where we get into the whole overwhelm thing. I start working on something and I get stuck. Not paralyzed, but I get stuck. Did I show you this? I think I did. How quickly this one is growing. The polypoidis, polydipidoides, pupalapapala. Who knows? Polypoidioides. I think that name has extra letters. Hopefully the thrips are not going to stick around after that treatment. Eventually I will need to treat the big ones too. But so far, I don't see any issue. The new leaf is very small, sadly. I think that's the lack of water on this big Atabapoense. This one is doing well though. We can actually shower this one, I feel. Let's get out. I don't know if you remember me repotting this recently, but this grew. Like it grew after the repot. It just, I think it made 3 new leaves. Yes, they're elongated. It's definitely going for the light, but that was crazy. Crazy quick. Philodendrons, aroids, like to be repotted and they like to have fertilizer. Let me just push this aerial root into the pot. I'll shower this because if it has any pests, which I don't really see, but if it has any pests, it will knock them off. Do you remember that video? It's crazy. Can't believe that plants grow. Who would have thought? So yeah, this is just gonna be a nice big plant in my collection. I'll probably eventually give it to my friend or to her sisters because it comes from their grandmother. Because I don't think I will be able to keep it forever, but I will enjoy it while I can. And, you know, grow a massive problem. I don't know if my friend is watching this video, but Dan, if you are, one day you're just gonna get a giant plant back and it's gonna be your problem. Like, it's getting big. This is getting quite big. Petiole to leaf size ratio, but it's in low light. And honestly, I don't really even mind that much. But yeah, the normal, I feel the normal ratio would be somewhere here, we would expect a new leaf or a leaf to be. When we look at some previous growth, I think this is the latest that grew in highlight, you can see. So that's really where the leaf should be. But it's fine. I'm going to stop temporarily recording so I can take these things out of the room. Of course, I knocked over 4 plants. Every day I just knock over stuff. Everything is, there's no floor space to walk. I'm a tall person. My feet are big, 47.5, which is like 12 point something in the American foot size. Do you know that once when I was teaching English online, I was on this app because I was in between schools, because I worked for online schools, and I can't even remember this app. It was a very, very well-known app for teaching. Maybe all of those apps were like ABC something, Dada something, whatever. And I got a student who selected me, and he started to ask me stuff like, how tall are you? You know, like, what is your shoe size? And I was like, this is a bit inappropriate. I was like, I don't know. I don't even know why I replied to that question. Like, that should have been my red flag. But I was like, maybe it's not a red flag. So it was like 47.5, which is like 12 in American. And he's like, oh, big feet. Can you show me your feet? And I was like, so that's inappropriate. I will not be doing that. And he just disconnected after like 5 minutes of conversation. But I think I got $1 for that. So let's move this. This surprisingly is not dehydrated. So I made another terrarium-like structure here, which I haven't put any plants in here, but you can see I siliconed this. I made it from the parts of the rotsta. I couldn't approach these plants, so these anthuriums are very underwatered. I need some light here, but I don't know how to get it. I essentially removed one light from this cabinet. I think it was going to be too much. This one is growing two plants at the same time, this Paphiopedilum, which is kind of amazing. So I have an extra light, but it's going to be too strong. I need some weaker light and something that's very thin. Once again, knocking over the plants. Would we stop? These plants are not stable. These Hoyas, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. Yeah, I need some light that's not too strong because I want to put begonia here. I also want to be using the top of this to put the orchids. I think I need like a strip, LED strip here that's not too strong. Let's check on this Paphiopedilum. All of these Paphiopedilums had pretty bad roots, unfortunately. And I don't see any new root growth yet. Oh, maybe there is one. Oh, is this new root? Yes, it is. There is new roots growing. Thank you. And it did firm up. These are from Hungary. This one needs to be in a self-watering pot. This moss got way too dry. I think this one is also not doing so hot. This one barely had a single root. Oh, but it's growing another root. Oh, wow. Okay. So it is recovering. I thought this was going to croak for sure. I was most worried about that. So I guess we need to figure out a self-watering. I'm going to take all of them and soak them a bit. Also, these are incredibly resilient anthuriums from Cartel Dawn. If they are surviving me in this level of not care, they will survive you, believe me. They will survive. And I don't know if I showed you, but this pedophyllum also bloomed. This one is growing so much and has become such a beautiful plant. A lot of you actually constantly ask me what the plant is in the back. It's just a variegated pedophyllum that I got in a flower shop. And believe me, I understand you. So gorgeous. I mean, hello? What are we talking about? Also went dry a million times and it survives. What a beauty. Okay, let's water. I would like to take some time to thank all of my patrons for their incredible support. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons, my 2 anonymous patrons, Alex von Siebenthal, Anne Margaret Morin, Angela Bernard, Angela Parrish, Anna P, and C. Aspen Drake, Betsy, Brett Noble, Connie Pagano, Daniela Danube Daniels, Down on Rolls, Deepanjali Rao, Either W, Eleni Saxon, Ellen, Farah, Ferdis Verdance, Francis Wilkins, Gathering Moss, Gina Geisset, Gina Radovic, Grossitz Kyle, Growing Nurse, Hannah Matlin, Heather Uppingham, Hunji Scott, Yana Griffin, Jennifer Martin, Jessica Chio, Jody D. Gomez, Jonas Bayer, Hjorth Larson, Cara, Catherine P., Casey Gross, Callie Gallagher, Kelso, Kimberly Polka, Kiwi Mochi, Christy Ehrlich, Ellen, Berglee Mooney, Lucas Irchevsky, Mandy Milliken, Marcel Har, Marina Yarmolich, Morris B., Marty Miller, Melissa Walker, Michelle Heron, Mirka Grun-Roos, MJW, Moa Edmund, Miss Seidenhar, Neely Yang, Niha, Nicole Moreau, Nina Nguyen, Nita Macy, Odette, PJ Pacific NW, Guy 97, Plant Grid, Saig Zera, Rachel Peterson, Rebecca C., Renee Church, Sharon Bone, Sophia Rian, Starla Van Lith, Sufi Cordecangas, Tessa Martins, Thomas Marsden, Tia B., Trista Bailey, Tristan Thomas, Van Isle Dude, Xenia Green, Youth of the Walmut, Zaira Rivera, Zordoramas, Lakop Niponi, and a flower. A big thank you to my $3 patrons: Anna Malia, Karen Kilon Constance, Daryl De Rosario, Eden Corlett, Holly Borner, KPZ, Lindsay Ann, Monica Wykers, Nella Nerdy Kathy, Ringlov, Shayla Casper, Tangwa Tanasria Cool, and a thank you to my $1 patrons: one anonymous patron, Alice Borlin, Andrew G. Aquila, Brandon Pacheco, Catherine Molina, Couture Helvetica, Emilia Bronson, Jolie Sullivan, Kayla Vavra, Kelly Ash, Chris Perez, Laura E. Jackson, Lauren at Tugboat Plants, Lorianne Subramaniam, Luzmin Fernandez, Marga FV, Mary Diamond, Mary Rose, Neely Spicer, Olivia Chen Mueller, and Pacific NW Plant Lady.